coding challenge review, 21st of January. So, question number 1. Am I old? I think we reviewed that question like 20 times already, right? So we receive the age of the player, and we want to see if he or she is old or not. So if we are above 100, we are old. If not, we aren't. So what's wrong, guys, in this algorithm? Greater. Exclamation after no, correct. And then semicolon, correct. Anything else? That's it, right? All good, no problem at all. Any question? No? Cool, let's see what you did. Pretty much everybody did the same, right? That was pretty simple. Cool. So let's just go to the next one. Question number 2. Get capital letters. So get capital letters means we have a list of letters and we want just to get the capital ones. So which array methods in JavaScript give us a subset of the original array? Which one? Filter. Why not find? Correct. Find will give us just the first element of the array matching the condition, right? We don't want the first one, we want them all. So, return letters dot filter and then argument name. Letter, correct. And then how do we check if a letter is capital or not? To uppercase. No. Letter equal true or free? Correct. Letter dot to uppercase, right? So if a letter is the same letter in capitals, that means that this is capital, right? This is pretty simple. So, will this work, yes or no, and why? Yes? Any penalty issues? Yes, what is the penalty? No?
Like a semicolon. Yeah, I see. I'm looking at the stream, so there's a delay, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, there is a big delay on the YouTube.
Yeah. Then look at the screen here.
Yeah.
Right. So no issues, right? So should be fine. Okay, let's see. That's correct. That's correct, right? Any question here, guys?
Yes. Where does letter come from?
What's letter? Well, this is, we have letters is an array, right? Letters is, in the first example, A, B, E, Z, whatever, a list of letters. So this is the way we use filter. With filter, we can declare a function, and that function will run as many times as letters the array has. Every time we run the filter function, letter will point to each individual letter. So on the first iteration, what's the value of letter? A, correct. So the first time, Michael, we run this code, letter will be A.
Oh, sorry, I'm still not understanding why did you introduce letter? Because when I was watching the video,
Yeah.
I couldn't quite get where letter came from.
You can rename it. That comes from here. This is the argument. So JavaScript will provide that.
Okay, so we've renamed it then.
Yeah.
I see.
That's correct. If you don't like letter, you can call it
I see.
character, whatever, right? But the important thing is that letter points to each individual element on the array, A, B, E, Z. And then for each element of the array, how do we know if A is capital or not? What we do is we transform A to capital A. Is A the same as capital A in this case?
No.
No. Then ignore it. Is that character equal to the same version in capitals? Yes. Then keep it, right? That's the algorithm. That's how it works. Cool. So, a quick review to your code. So, Jonan arrow functions, which is good. Please, that parenthesis should be ideally closed here, right? Yeah, you got some small penalty here, and then Dave, pretty much the same thing, parentheses to a new line, and then Bala, he put everything in line. So it's interesting because Bala added the break line before the dot, you see? Dot filter. Everyone else, Jonan and Dave, you added the break line after the arrow. Both are valid, right? Just different styles, right? And with Michael, we can see the reason why it didn't work, right? So that's correct. Filter, that's correct, but that's the problem. The argument name, you needed to use a different name because that's an individual letter, one letter, right? And then for each letter, you need to compare if the letter is equal to letter dot to uppercase.
So, with triple equals.
Correct, with triple equals, correct, yes. Any other question? No? Okay, so let's then do the next one. Question number 3. Get characters. We have a list of characters, a list of people, and we want to return another list, just a subset, containing all the actors or all the people, all the individuals that are characters. How do we know if they're a character or not? Because we have a property called isCharacter. When it's equal to true, we want to persist it. When it's equals to false, we want to discard it, right? It's pretty similar to the previous one, to be honest. So here we got the variable names politicians, so let's reuse it. It's literally the same thing we did a minute ago. Return politicians, find or filter, or filter. Filter, because we want to return more than one, right? Filter, and then we got an individual politician. So then for each politician, return what? Politician.name. Correct. What's the condition? We don't care about the name, to be honest. We don't care about the name. We care about that property. Whenever that's true, then keep it. Whenever it's false, just ignore it. Name, not name. It's character. Like that? We don't need that. That's correct. We don't need that. Because if it's true, true is truthy, right? But hey, that's up to you. Whatever you feel more comfortable with. If you don't really understand that, equal equals true. If for you, you know how this works, then remove it. Simpler. Anything else here? No? Okay, so let's see if it works. That's correct. Right? Once again, that's correct. So, Michael, any question? No? Natasha? I'm not sharing the screen at the moment. It's on YouTube. Yes. Cool. Right. So, and then what you do here, guys? So, question number 3: get characters. So, Jonan, filter.
No, I need to do the bracket again.
Yeah. So, in speaking, I mentioned that a few times already. If you want to move the condition to a new line, I personally prefer to put a parenthesis. Otherwise, I find it a bit weird to have nothing on the right-hand side. Well, it depends. If you put parentheses, that's fine. If you put curly brackets, correct. You need to explicitly add the return statement.
So parentheses, no return. curly brackets.
Exactly.
If you put parentheses, where do you end it? Because I've done it and it has a few errors.
Yes, if you put parentheses, let's do the same thing using parentheses. I'm replacing curly brackets with parentheses. That's it, like that. You see? So Jonan did that. Without the last one, of course, right? Which is valid. Hey, that's okay. But I personally find this a bit odd, and that's why I like to put parentheses. Because then I know, okay, I receive a politician, and what do I return? That.
And if it's broken after the dot filter parentheses,
Yeah.
is that valid or is that?
What again? Say it again, sorry.
So before the politician,
Yeah.
if
Parentheses? No.
not the first politician, the function politician.
Yeah.
So if I put the enter just after the
Here? 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 Before you want to move that to a new line? Listen, that's valid as well. Eh? You can do that. No, he's right, actually. He's right. You can do that. Again, I find this a bit unusual, but that's correct. Okay. So I agree. From a readability point of view, it's not that great. So, will this work? Yes or no? Yes. Should do.
Sorry, I'm struggling to understand where on the fourth one is that you've got two parentheses, yeah?
Yeah, but they are optional, Michael.
Oh.
If you remove them, still works.
So what would be the best way?
Right? So for each politician, remember, we have an array of politicians, and then for each one, right, I want to keep it in my list of politicians if they are a character, if that condition returns true. Right? So the longer version, the one we did before, is using curly brackets, return. That's the longest version, right? If that condition returns true, we keep the politician. If that condition returns false, we discard it, right? So there are several ways to create that strategy, right? This is one of them. Then we can simplify that a bit, replacing curly brackets with parentheses and removing the return statement. So you all think this will work, but I don't necessarily agree, to be honest. I think there is something wrong here.
Surely the politician on the second line
Yeah,
where is it closed? I don't understand how it's open.
we open the parentheses here of the function, and it closes there. So that's correct.
Oh, I see,
You
yeah.
see the filter, and then inside of the filter, all the logic.
Okay.
Right?
There's two, yeah.
Yeah, there's two, correct. And then the one on the right-hand side, that surrounds the condition, which is optional. Right, there is 1 point on the board challenge for the first one spotting the issue. That won't work.
Semicolon.
Wrong. What happened with semicolon?
On line 3, should we get rid?
That's correct. Jonan gets a point, right? Look,
Oh yeah, two.
wrong. Unexpected semicolon. He's right. If we put the inline return, we cannot put the semicolon here. Good spot, Jonan. Nice one. So again, different ways to solve the same problem. If you don't feel very comfortable with this syntax, that's all right. Let's use the longer one. Use the return, explicit return with curly brackets, right? Right, so yeah, look, Dave, for example, here, I may be wrong, but I got the feeling he got a small penalty on the elegance, right? Because that line is too long. So please add a breakpoint either before the dot, either after the arrow function, whatever, right? Like, for example, Jonan did. And then Bala, whoa. Can anybody explain me that?
It's just working because I'm returning some true value. That's it. Yeah.
That's
So,
correct.
Yeah, I should just left that true.
Yeah, that's correct. It works, right? But that's overcomplicated. So you see, if the character is true, then return name. You can return the name, or you can return hello. You can return whatever. As soon as you return something truthy, it will work, right? The thing is, if it's not true, there is no return statement.
So it's false.
Correct. It's undefined.
Yeah.
Undefined is falsy. So that's the trick, right? But obviously, it's a bit overcomplicated.
I was just.
Yep, that's right. You know how to do it now, right? Cool. Cheers. So question number 4. Get remaining bank holidays. That's probably the most complicated one. So we have, again, a list of dates. So we want to check how many bank holidays do we have. We actually know how many bank holidays do we have because of that property, right? So first of all, how do we get, before calculating the length, how do we get a subset of the array? How do we extract just the days that are a bank holiday? Filter. Again, the same thing. Again, the same thing, guys. return dates dot filter, and then what? Date or dates? Date. For each individual date, what? Date dot is bank holiday, right? So again, we are creating a new array with just the elements that are a bank holiday, right? So will this work, yes or no? Why? Is it what? A typo. Okay, what is the typo? Yes. Will this work? Why? Semicolon. Where is? Wait a minute. Where is semicolon, Michael?
No. Going back to the previous example, the third one and the third one.
No, but that is correct. If you have a return statement, that's optional.
The only thing is, what's confusing here is when you've got the return, you need the semicolon.
Yeah.
But if you did it without
Yep.
return,
Yep.
that's
So, if you add return, semicolons are optional. If you don't put the return, semicolons are forbidden. Right? Remember, without return, no semicolons. With return, optional semicolons. Right, so again, why this doesn't work? Length, correct. Where? Here?
delete semicolon, delete that.
Here? Correct. Right? So that will give us another array of 1, 2, 3, some elements. Right? So then, because we have the array, we can obtain the size of the array using dot length. So if we try that, it works, right?
Just one thing, if we've been really good on the labels,
Yep.
in line 2
Yeah.
and 3, should we call it day instead of date? Because you've got,
Okay, that's fine.
you've got that.
That's a day.
Yeah.
That's another. Oops, that's another day. That's
Only because date's already in the object.
whatever. Yeah, not against that. Of course, you can create. If you want to, you can change the approach a bit. So you can create a variable. Bank holidays. Can we do that? Yeah, we can do that as well, right? That's the same thing. That's literally the same thing. Will this work? Any penalty? Correct. Semicolon line 4, right? So if we try this again, all good, no problem at all. Right? Again, the same thing, right? Array of things, filter, then the condition, which elements of the array we want to keep, and finally, in that particular case, as we don't want the new array, we want the length of the array, dot length. All right? Any question? Michael? Cool. Cool. Cheers. And then, so what you did here, guys? So get remaining bank holidays. So Jonan inline, right? Again, I struggle a bit because when we have dot filter, dot length, I will personally prefer, if you want to do that, which is absolutely fine, I will personally prefer to do something like that. So first the filter and then the length. And of course, now we got some space on the right hand side. This is like a sequence of actions. First filter and then get the length, right? Right, and then Dave, again, you get another penalty here for the elegance, right? So remember, guys, 12 breakpoints. It's too long. It's too long. And maybe same thing for Bala, not sure. That's on the limit, to be honest. Get remain bank holiday, but that's the same thing, right? And remember, this is unnecessary, right? Because is bank holiday, if it's true, it's truthy, so the day will be incorporated to the new array. Question number 5, last one. Oh, we've done that like a couple of times already. So we have a very long algorithm. That's unexpected the first time you see that. It's like, what's going on, right? What am I supposed to do here? Right. So why this doesn't work? Correct. Remember, when you create a function in JavaScript, unless you have a good reason to not to do that, you should add a return statement at the end. What is that function returning? Nothing. Nothing? What kind of nothing? Technically speaking. Yes, that function doesn't return. Well, I don't see any return statement, right? Yeah. What happens when a function doesn't return anything? Undefined, correct. So this is returning undefined. That's why when you execute it, oops, you didn't return anything, right? So let's add a return statement at the end. Like that, right? Will this work now? No, why not?
Because I tried it and it didn't.
Correct, correct. That's a solid answer, Michael.
5 times.
Right. So that's correct. Now that's correct. However, for example, let's have a look to the first function. Get rounded temperatures. If we pay attention to that function, same problem, Michael. This function doesn't return anything, right? So again, return. In other words, we need to review every method to verify that we have a return statement at the end. That one. Get average temperature. We don't care about what's going on here, right? That's not the purpose of the exercise. The purpose is to notice that we need to add return statements everywhere, right? Return, 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 return everywhere. Once we fix all the returns, that's it.
Well, because it's so long, you feel like you've got to look into every. You don't. Yeah, there could be mistakes in every bit.
Yeah. Absolutely. Cool. So what you did? I mean, essentially, if you've solved it, it's because you did the same thing, right? That's adding return statements everywhere. Yeah, and that's it. So, yeah. So you see, Michael, here a return statement in one of the function, which is correct, but he should have done the same thing here and there, right? And finally, yeah, return. Yeah. Cool. I think that's it, guys. Anything else? No? Michael? Good? Cool. So that was it, guys. We'll review intermediate after lunch. Thank you for watching. Cheers.